What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Death Stranding 1. I thought this would be a different, interesting type video, obviously with Death Stranding 2 coming out a month away, right? We're actually at the 1 month mark. So I had planned this for a long time, and, I'm not fully all the way there. When I beat this game, okay, Death Stranding 1, I'm going to do a retrospective of it on my third channel, Podcast Now Back to the Past. You can check that channel out. I think it's my best content, okay, to be honest with you. But for this video, I kind of just want to talk about my experience originally playing it, and then what the plan is for right now, because I knew, obviously, I think all of us knew the release date for Death Stranding 2 we're getting closer and closer. I had to do this eventually, right? We had all these new games coming out, but I had to set aside some time and say, okay, I actually have to go back, because the first game, I gotta be honest, it didn't get me, okay? And I can say that, I think, with quite high confidence, because I didn't beat it. And nowadays, I've told this story before, but around 2020, right before the world had a situation, let's say, I actually made a New Year's resolution where I would go back and I would actually beat games, okay? I have struggled for my entire life, really, to beat the majority of games that I've ever played. I've beaten some, but not all. So from 2020 on, that's what I did. Death Stranding, now, to be fair, Death Stranding came out right before then, okay? So it wasn't part of kind of my resolution, and it was never a game I went back to. So when the first game came out, I played it. I have a trophy list, because I'm playing the director's cut now, and I'm getting trophies, and I thought, wait, why am I getting trophies? I already earned these things. Then I realized, oh yeah, technically two separate games. I played the first game for maybe 10 to 15 hours. I didn't look at the official times. I didn't download it or re-download it. So it really was not all that much. I just couldn't get by the gameplay. And it was something that, I don't have any, I'm not going to sit here and tell you or, bash the game, right? Say, it's the worst gameplay I've ever experienced. It's a special, different kind of game, okay? maybe I'm copping out, with that kind of explanation, but it's different. I mean, I think that's a factual statement, right? You're really not going to get a lot of games that play like Death Stranding, and you're either going to jive with it or not. And that's something that now, okay, I'm sure I can give you guys my full impressions later on once I beat it on my third channel, but I'm interested to see if I can actually jive, because back in the day, look, I love weird games, okay? Hideo Kojima is right up my alley, just in the storytelling. He does so much other stuff too that's honestly a legend kind of status, but the way he tells stories and just, what is going on in Death Stranding, okay? Now, I've played the first 2.5 hours when I'm recording this video. I remember looking at the entire movie. I watched the whole game. I understood it. I watched so many explanations of the deeper lore. I got it. I have forgotten 99% of it in the last 5.5 years, okay? So I don't remember nothing. And when I'm going through this game, the way that they're introducing things and just the speech patterns, even of some of these characters, right? Purposely not saying things. I will say, it's infuriating, but it's the kind of stuff that I freaking adore. Because if you don't know, Kingdom Hearts, right? Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite franchises, period. And that's the blueprint. I mean, Tetsuya Nomura is the blueprint, right? Of giving you just enough, but also nothing. And to say you'll figure it out, or you have to watch 20 hours to figure it out. Now, again, to many people, they will not do that. That is a turn off immediately. And I get it. Who would do it? Only the craziest of people out there, like me, right? Only I could, or people like me, that could, get into Kingdom Hearts. Alan Wake is another one. Sam Lake is on a different planet, right? And the way that he tells stories and the way that he withholds information, that you have to figure stuff out. These are not for everybody, but they're for me. And I've always, jived with that. So when it comes to Death Stranding, I mean, I remember looking into it, and that's just my memory. I've played in 5.5 years, okay? I've probably played 400 to 600 games. So that's a lot of memory, being taken to think about those other games versus Death Stranding story, right? It's too, I can't remember that much. So I've lost a lot of that memory of what is actually going on. But I remember being into it because of the weird status that is Death Stranding. So I'm very excited to relive that. I'm honestly, I can say actually with full confidence, I'm kind of reliving it for the first time, because I flat out, I some of the characters and some of the plot points, I was thinking, I feel like I remember that, or, oh, is this where it's going? But I'm not looking stuff up. I'm not on my phone saying, okay, am I right when I'm thinking of these theories? So in a lot of ways, the actual, storyline and the lore, I'm kind of experiencing for the first time. In terms of the gameplay, I will say in the first 2.5 hours, I can see the issue. I can see, and again, this is early, and this is something I'm sticking with. I mean, like tonight, I'm going to try to play this game literally every day, okay? I'm really going to put in the time and try to figure it out and try to like it. And not necessarily forcing it, but just like see if I can embrace it, now versus back then. But I can tell you, like even just early on, when he's swaying back and forth, carrying like 3 things on his back, I know how deep the game gets, okay? I know the traversal methods that the game introduces that other people have already built, right, to connect. I know that there's like side quest type, delivery services that are there, the main stuff. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that because it's just a different game, like working on or focusing on, I should say, right, your grasp, right, grasping the ground and not swaying left and right and focusing on the terrain and plotting your points and kind of just being isolated, right, like you're out in the world. And it's insane. It's beautiful, honestly, where you see like the mountains in the distance and it's just an incredible view. You don't get that in many games, but you're alone, what I mean? And then there's music that plays and then the music stops and now you're still alone. And it's like, it's I don't know, how many games have you played like it, right? And it's special. It definitely is special. Doesn't have to mean special, I guess, in a good way, right? I guess that depends. But, it's a game that so far, 2.5 hours in, number one, I'm happy to be back. Like I was planning on doing this and half the battle, okay, is clicking on play. True, like, and that's what I found in my quest for, I struggle to play and beat games, so mainly beat games, I guess, in my life. The first problem is just skipping over it, is going to play Rocket League or play something. Battlefront 2 is pretty hot right now, right? I have that downloaded. So, the first issue is hitting play. Once you hit play, you're in, and that's half the fight. So it's good to be back, and then it's, okay, here we go. Can I actually embrace it, nowadays? And so far, I would say largely yes. But also largely, in 2.5 hours, how much of it is gameplay? Not much. I would say maybe half an hour, 40 minutes of the 2.5 hours so far is gameplay. I'm pretty sure it evens out, if not goes more towards gameplay, right? Because it's a longer game, 30, 40 hours. There's, like I said, the side stuff that I am planning on doing just to kind of experience it, right? And so, okay, now's where it's going to get interesting because my favorite part of this game and what I jive with Kingdom Hearts and Alan Wake and stuff, I mean, those games have good gameplay. I'll say that, okay? But also the story, right? And the way they tell the story. I'm big into that. I'm really big into it with Death Stranding. But now, okay, well, does the story carry like the whole game? Because that stuff I just flat out don't know / forget / whatever, right? Like I don't know how much the gameplay balances with the story. I assume it's going to reverse. It's been so much story content, not a lot of gameplay. I think it's going to reverse as I keep going the next 10, 15, 20 hours. That will determine if I like this game or not, okay? So that's my journey so far. I actually quite like doing this video. You let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.